Today, I want to invite us all to reflect on who Jesus desires to reveal himself to us to be versus maybe what our default image of him is in our head. Jesus is constantly presenting himself as a paradox to what we think. In July, we celebrate the precious blood of Jesus, and that takes us to Revelation where he says, "These have washed their robes white in the blood of the Lamb." How do we get white things out of washing in blood? We know that Jesus is the second person of the Trinity, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and yet he was born poor in a stable. He lived at the second lowest place on the earth in Galilee. The only place lower is the Dead Sea. We know that when he went to call people to himself, he didn't go to the grand palaces and to the strongest and brightest. He called fishermen and tax collectors. Mary Magdalene was his apostle to the apostles. We know that he wants faith from us. And yet when there was a storm going on in the ocean and he's asleep, and the apostles wake him up, he's like, "Why did you wake me up? Why would you have woken me up from this sleep? Where's your faith?" Seems like that's what we would want to do in our time of trial or distress is to go to Jesus, to run to him, to wake him up. There's when he says to follow me, and to follow him means to give up everything else, our own perspectives and point of views, to take on his, right? Not just to say we're bad, but to take on his, because there's a distortion that happens because of sin, and he's the only one seeing things through a sinless body. He says, "Follow me," and then the disciple, to be my disciple, it means everybody else is gonna hate you, and even people will kill you and think they're doing me a favor, doing God a favor. He is himself is going to give his life for us. He loves us so much, and yet he's going to allow himself to be killed, even though he's the most powerful. Constantly, Jesus is a paradox. And I think he wants to show us that, well, like as C.S. Lewis said, he's not a tame lion. We don't got God all figured out, but we are invited to follow him. In this month, every Wednesday night, we're taking some time just to step away and pray a little bit more. And Wednesday nights, it's from 6 to 7, it's a chance to pray and to adore the Lord through praise and worship music and silence and in the Blessed Sacrament and adoration every Wednesday from 6 to 7. Our Knights of Columbus are so generous to throw us a party and have a barbecue afterwards at 7 o'clock, play on the playground, have some hamburgers or hot dogs or something, and just enjoy a few people's company. And then afterwards, we're watching an episode of The Chosen. Now, if you haven't seen The Chosen, I highly recommend it. It does a really good job of presenting the humanity of Jesus in a surprising way, an imaginative way, but to show us maybe who God was revealing himself to be. I invite you to check it out with us or check it out on your own. In this month of the precious blood, let's just invoke the precious blood to come down on us, to take away any scales from our eyes, to wash us of any impurities in our vision due to sin, and to make our hearts and souls white in the blood of the Lamb, that we may get to know Jesus as he really is, that we might trust him, that we might follow him. God bless you.